Have you ever stopped to think about just how connected music and language really are inside our brains? Well, today, we're diving into an absolutely incredible therapy that uses melody to, and I mean this literally, rewire the brain and bring back the power of speech. So, let's get right into it.
Wow. This quote from a speech therapist, it just gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? It really highlights the huge impact the right therapy can have, and it perfectly sets the stage for the powerful technique we're about to explore.
Just try to imagine it for a second. You know exactly what you want to say, a thought, a joke, a feeling, but you just can't get the words out. For people with conditions like aphasia, which can happen after a stroke or a brain injury, this is an incredibly frustrating daily reality. It's like the bridge between their thoughts and their voice is just gone.
Okay, but what if there's a workaround? A way to bypass those damaged parts of the brain and find a totally new path to speaking? Well, that's exactly where this incredible therapy comes into play.
It sounds almost too simple to be true, but this is the very foundation of a revolutionary therapy. The idea is, instead of fighting to form words, what if you could use the power of music to create brand new connections in the brain?
And here it is. It's called Melodic Intonation Therapy, or MIT for short. Now, let's be super clear about one thing. This is not about learning how to sing. It's about using the musical parts that are already in our speech, the pitch, the rhythm, the flow, to help the brain relearn how to make words. This detour analogy is just perfect. Imagine the language center on the left side of your brain is a highway with a massive, unmovable traffic jam. Well, MIT doesn't try to clear the jam. Instead, it builds a whole new scenic route, a musical one, through the right side of the brain.
So how in the world does this musical detour actually work? What's the real science happening behind the scenes? Let's take a look.
This is the big question, right? Why does turning a simple phrase, like "I am thirsty," into a little tune and tapping out the rhythm, why does that succeed when just trying to say the words fails? Well, the answer is pretty deep in neuroscience.
And the answer is just so cool. See, while the left side of our brain handles most of the heavy lifting for language, the right side is a total powerhouse for melody and rhythm. MIT taps into this strong, undamaged area and basically recruits it to help out with the job of speaking.
Okay, so to put it all together, MIT is so effective for a few key reasons. 1, it gets that musical right hemisphere of the brain fired up and involved. 2, the rhythm, which is often tapped up by hand, gives the brain these crucial timing cues for making sounds. And 3, the results speak for themselves, especially for people with what's called non-fluent aphasia, where speech can be really slow and difficult.
So, we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get into the how. The therapy itself follows this really clever, structured 5-step journey that takes a person from silence all the way to speech.
The process itself is just brilliant. It starts with something as simple as just humming the melody of a phrase. From there, the therapist and the patient say it together, in unison. Then the therapist starts to fade out their own voice, letting the patient take the lead. After that, the patient repeats it all by themselves. And finally, they use the phrase in a real-life situation, like actually answering a question.
It's kind of like building a scaffold. Each step provides just the right amount of support, and then it's slowly taken away as the person gets stronger and more independent. The whole point, the ultimate goal, is always to get to meaningful, self-sufficient communication. But this therapy is so much more than just a mechanical, step-by-step process. It's also deeply personal, and that's where its true power really shines.
This is key. The phrases they practice aren't random at all. They are things that are deeply meaningful to the person. We're talking about words like "I love you" or "good morning," or maybe just "I need help." These are phrases that restore connection, that restore dignity. It's this beautiful mix of scientific structure and real personal relevance that makes MIT so incredibly effective.
Yeah, the best results really do come from that amazing combination. You absolutely need the evidence-based technique, that solid structure of MIT, but it gets turbocharged when you combine it with goals that are personally meaningful. That's what really drives motivation and leads to success in the real world.
So really, the keys to making real progress come down to these 3 things: taking small steps, being consistent with practice, and always working towards meaningful communication goals. These simple but incredibly powerful ideas help people reconnect with their families, their friends, and their world, one phrase at a time.
Melodic intonation therapy really shows us the unbelievable power of music to literally rebuild pathways in the brain. It just begs the question, doesn't it? If music can do that, What other hidden abilities could we unlock with this universal key of melody? What other doors in the mind could music open for us?